That day, Sunday morning, the 22nd of June, Bob Affleck and I had just taken off for a brief pleasure flight, really 15 or 20 minutes. We were heading southwest. We had just finished climbing out to, well, probably a couple thousand feet at the time, I thought. And all of a sudden, there was just a loud bang. I turned to Bob, and I thought he was goofing around. I didn't know what he was doing. I said, are you messing with me here? And he said, no. And the engine stopped. That was it. There was some smoke coming out of the right front of the engine, some white smoke, wispy smoke. And at that point, very quickly, I looked at the altimeter, which indicates your altitude above ground. It showed about 1,900 feet. And I looked around out of the cockpit and realized we were dead in the middle of the city. And I knew we were going down very quickly. And so then at that point, your training takes over and you start doing emergency procedures. Bob immediately called the airport tower and said that we had an engine failure and he was looking for a landing site. While he was doing that, I was looking around and it was clear we wouldn't make it back to the airport. We couldn't land in the river just for drowning reasons and so on. And landing in our immediate vicinity was out as well because it was all houses and apartment buildings. So there were only two possible spots. There was a rail yard and then what turned out to be South Cameron Street. They were the only possible spots that we could find. And so we started heading towards those. And the entire time, I guess I was scared, but I wasn't terrified because we were doing things. Like we were busy with, Bob was trying to restart the engine using his engine failure checklist. And I was talking to him about how quickly we were going and trying to make sure that we didn't lose speed and stall and crash that way. And we continued doing that right until the point where, well, I didn't really know what had happened. It turns out we snagged a cable, a telephone line, or a power cable, and we hit the ground and the fire erupted. And at that point, it became clear that it was going to get even worse because my safety belt, the harness I was wearing, wouldn't release. And I remember I was pulling on it, and while I was pulling on it, these flames were erupting. And I remember thinking, I remember sort of, not panicking, but I remember thinking, well, gosh, I'm not going to get this thing off. And while I was thinking that, I was also thinking, this was a nice Sunday morning, and this sucks. I guess I'm going to burn to death here. And the canopy also, we couldn't get the canopy back, and that was also a problem. Luckily, as it turns out, it had cracked a bit. And just when I had sort of resigned myself to the fact that I was going to burn to death, which was not a pleasant thought, I guess survival just took over. And meanwhile, Bob was trying to get out at the same time, and he was kicking and fussing and trying to release, I think, his harness as well. I think he was stuck too. And I managed somehow to get a shoulder out from under one of the harness straps, and I think I got my leg, which I didn't realize was on fire at the time, onto a purchase point. I just sort of exploded through the canopy. And then I was on the grass, standing looking at a guy with a garden hose, which was very strange. And I'm not sure, I think he sprayed me down, and then I know he went to spray down the aircraft, and he started doing that. And I walked across the road, and a lady had a phone or got a phone. I called my wife Carolyn, told her there had been a plane crash, and then the rest gets blurry. Off we were to the hospital in Windsor, Hotel Dieu, and then off to London. And so I don't know. I think I was scared, but the terror or the scariness was in the background because I was busy doing stuff that I was trained to do. That sort of took over. So I don't know how I got out of that aircraft. I think I just it was not my time to die. I did not want to die that day, and I just got lucky. I managed to punch my way through that canopy. But it does change your perspective. I think little things are not going to bother me as much as they may have in the past. And I'm trying to be very good about every day when I swing my legs over the edge of the bed and try to put my weight on them and they hurt, not being grumpy. I'm trying to say, Creator, thank you for giving me another day of life. And I don't know what your belief system is, but I think for me that's a real important thing to do now, to just realize that, as they say, every day above ground is a good day.